Philip, and I've got MND. 2 years ago, almost to the day, isn't it?
2 years ago, next Thursday.
We had the diagnosis. By that stage, my neck had become quite weak. When I stand, my head just falls completely forward, and I have very little muscular support for my head. I felt very self-conscious.
Yes.
We're on holiday or in the pub or wherever. My head would be down. Eating and drinking would be difficult. Communicating with people would be awkward. That just added to complications that we were faced with.
Yes.
We didn't know how we were going to cope. I've had the colour for about 18 months. Whatever I'm doing, whether I'm just reading the newspaper, reading a book, watching TV, out and about, driving, whatever it is, I wear the collar really most of the day. Because even if I'm just sitting reading a book, that little bit of help makes all the difference.
The head-up collar is a novel neck support device that has been created by a team of people that included designers, patients, families, and its unique selling point is the fact that it provides support but allows movement, and it's adaptive to people's needs.
Patients would come to me, they'd have this problem with their head drop, and we'd go and see the physio together, and the physiotherapist would say, well, I've already given this patient 3 collars. I'd ask the patient, where are all these collars? And she said, well, they don't work. I didn't like that one because it was too hard. I didn't like this one because it offered no support or it digged in. And really, the patients would take all the collars we'd given them, they would go home and put them in a drawer.
The design of the head-up collar allows freedom of movement whilst giving support to that person. So it's made up of a snood that fits around the neck, and then a series of different supports that can be added to it dependent on where the person needs and requires that support. So the idea is this is a product that can be completely customised to the patient's needs and requirements, and that's a huge benefit and beauty of the actual collar and its design.
Hi. Lovely afternoon. It's much more comfortable.
That's one of the main things.
And you can fit it underneath your shirt, so it looks a piece of clothing really, rather than a medical device. If that's a fair way to.
I don't think people notice it, to be honest.
Without the collar, I wouldn't be able to drive, and that makes a huge difference. Because with the rigid collar, you can look ahead, but you can't turn your head to look to see if the traffic is coming this way or this way. But with this collar, you can do that.
It's amazing.
Fundamentally, that goes back to the original need that patients came forward with. That none of the devices out there at those two ends of the spectrum, just a very limited support you get from soft foam collars, or at the other end of the spectrum, the immobilisation devices provided for trauma, fit what they need, and they wanted a device that provided support but allowed them to move. And that's what this does. The proof in the pudding for me was they would come into the clinic wearing it. It wasn't in the drawer with the other collars. I don't think if there had just been healthcare professionals saying what was needed, or designers working in isolation, or even patients saying this is what they need, I think none of those groups would have been able to come up with what we've developed, something that is being used.
One of the powerful bits of feedback that we got from Carol was the first time actually that Philip had received the head-up collar, and Philip felt confident for them to go and have a meal. It was actually the first time in a long time that they're able to sit across a table and actually hold eye contact. I think we all kind of shed a tear, actually. It was quite an emotional moment to hear that directly from a patient and a patient's wife as to the impact of the head-up collar.
I can't imagine what it would be like without it. I can go out in the garden, and I can do a few jobs out there.
You can indeed, yes. Going to town, we're going to the theatre.
It's just it's life-changing, really.
I don't think I could contemplate life without you having that now.